And maybe that explains why they don't apply for jobs there, as he stated in his posting. And she concludes by saying the reality is that he did not want to accommodate the women for whatever reason, however righteous it may sound. Beth David, who is the editor of the Fairhaven Neighborhood News, is with me on the line right now. Beth, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Well, I just wanted to, you made some kind of serious suggestions here about the goings-on at WBSM and how decisions were made. And I'm just curious, did you contact anybody here and verify any of this before you printed this?
His post. No, I did not call. I used his post. And it had everything in there. That nothing I said was not in his post. He said in his post that he had been asked to use interns. And he said in his post that in the 2 years, I think the 2 years, or I don't remember the exact time, that no women had applied.
All right. So, but I mean, we get into a number of different areas here. You're suggesting that it was a conscious decision by Taylor Cormier or whoever you figure to run the station to send a male reporter knowing that would generate a reaction.
No, I didn't say knowing it would generate a reaction. I said it was a conscious decision, and I still believe that.
Well, the fact of the matter, Beth, is that we do not have currently any female news reporters on staff.
And like I said in my editorial, I think that's really, really sad.
Well, why is that sad?
Because how do you run an organization like that and not have a single female reporter there? I mean, maybe there's something. This is part of what's going on with why women march and why.
All right. Well, let me before you get hold on. No, before you get hold on. Before you get too far down the road on that, and I'll let you respond. I certainly will. We have a ratio of more than 2 to 1 women here. More than 2 to 1 women over men in this building, both WBSM and our sister station, Fun 107, which is also located here. But hold on, these are all people in powerful positions. We're not talking secretaries or janitors here. We're talking about people in management positions and in powerful positions. We just currently do not have a woman on the news staff. We have had many women on our news staff. Lynn Poyant was our news director for years here.
I understand that. So it's on them as much as it's on the men. The point is, there's something institutional, I believe, going on. This is the kind of thing that women have been arguing about all along. It's not okay to just say, well, no one's applied here. Why has no one applied there? Why do women not feel comfortable applying there? Maybe it's simply because when they listen, all they hear are the male voices. You know, there's a lot of different things that go into this. It doesn't matter if men are running the show or women are running the show. If you have not a single woman there,
yeah, but no, Beth, you're giving a false impression that simply is not true. We have many women in this building, and as a matter of fact, on our sister station, Fun 107, we have a cabal of women every morning on the air. Not only do we have Abby, who co-hosts on the Mike Rock Show, but there are several other women in the studio that are on air. Mike Rock and Gazella, the only 2 male voices there. We have Nancy, who is also on the air, and she's the music director for the station. So we have lots of women on the air. We just currently don't have a lot of women on the air on WBSM at the moment.
Well, all I can tell you is it just seems, to me, like I said in my editorial, it's very, very sad that part of the argument is we didn't have anyone to send who's a woman. Now, if you don't want to send a woman on principle, that was my first question to them when they said that BSM and Standard Times wouldn't send any women. I said, is it on principle or they really don't have anyone?
Well, hold on, no, because now you're again misrepresenting the truth, Beth. We never said that we would not send a woman. We said simply that we could not send a woman because our news director is a guy, and the people that work in the news department are also male. So it wasn't a decision not to. You're not listening to me, Beth, and I'm giving you the respect to listen to you. So I wish you would listen to me, then I'll hear your point. Okay. It was not a decision not to send a woman under the circumstances that we have now that exist here. We have a male news staff. We have a small staff, and it's all males at the moment. So it wasn't a decision not to send a woman. Our news staff is men.
Okay, can I talk now?
Sure.
What I said was I asked if it was a decision made on principle or if it was a decision because they truly don't have anyone. That was my question.
All right, and again, you never called here and asked that. You ran with an editorial accusing us of being sexist without even asking.
Taylor's post is extremely long and explains it and lays it all out. He said it was because they didn't have anyone, but he also addressed the fact that there are interns they could have sent.
No, that's not what he said at all. We do have interns, Beth, and let me explain something to you. We have a generous supply of interns here every semester, but the problem is this. We have, by the way, we've just taken on our first male intern in 6 years. All of our interns, and we have tons of them every semester, have been female interns. The reason that we can't send an intern down, it's multifold. First of all, our interns come from New Bedford Voc, and there are very stringent rules that Voc has about what we can do with the interns. They have to sign in, they have to sign out. There's insurance issues. We can't send an intern out to cover a news story. We just can't do that. It's not that we don't want to, it's that we can't do that. But we have a full staff of interns who are learning the business, and they're here every day with us.
Okay. I think we're kind of getting off the point here.
No, we're not. We're getting on the point because you're making accusations in your editorial, with all due respect to you, Beth, that we are somehow being sexist and making decisions, A, not to hire women or to have women present or to send women out to cover a news story. That's not the case at all, and I don't think it's fair for you to make that representation. See,
my point was going to be that you guys can send whoever you want. All right, but okay, let's get back to what I still think what I said here, okay, why does it not show at the end when I said, for whatever reason, however righteous it may sound, they sent a man, not a woman, to this, why does that not surprise me? Okay? And that's where I'm going to stick with it. I am not going to back off from that. I'm really not.
So you're accusing us of doing something wrong. You're not going to back off, even though I just explained that we in no way did anything nefarious or in any way to offend the women. You do recall, Beth, I know you do, you're a journalist, you remember back in the days, not that long ago, when female reporters were barred from covering various stories because of their sexuality,
right.
For example, going in sports locker rooms and that type of thing. And the courts changed that. The court said you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. A woman has every right to go in and cover a story that a man does. So basically what was done on Saturday was kind of reverse discrimination, if you will. A male reporter was told, you can't come in here because you have a penis.
Right. But see, this is why I said at the beginning we're getting off the point. We're not talking about whether I think he should have been kicked out or not. I don't think he should have been kicked out. I really don't. So what you're switching it around is that we're talking about the station being discriminatory, which is fine. I understand. That's what I said in my editorial. Where, if you want to talk about the locker room thing, I don't recall at the time male reporters standing in solidarity with that poor woman from the Herald, which started the whole thing, saying, oh, we're going to walk out unless women can come in. Okay? So I'm not sure that that's exactly a good comparison that maybe you want to make here. The women-only event, I totally get what Taylor is saying, what you guys are saying. It's a public building. I fully believe that.
But hold on, that doesn't, Beth, that's only a portion of it. And by the way, we have a statement from Bristol Community College.
I saw that.
Okay, you saw this. So they're not down with what was done there. They feel that everybody should have been given access. This is not a question about whether it's a public building or so on. This is a matter where a press release was sent out to the press saying we're having this event on Saturday. The press is invited to come, but only if you are a female member of the press or non-binary. If you are a male, you are excluded. That is against the law. That's discrimination.
I agree that
that's our only issue here.
No, if that's the only issue there, like I said, I don't think that they should have kicked them out. If I'd have been there when they kicked them out, I would have been. I'm trying to be very honest in my editorial. As a member of the press, I probably would have left, and I told Dana that. I said I probably would have left. On the other hand, we're all about getting the story, right? If they'll let me in, I'm going to go in. And then there's there's an assumption, I think, that feminists all agree and the left all agrees on everything all the time. There happens to be a very vibrant discussion about this exact kind of thing in the feminist community, and has been since I first got involved in the late 80s, We've always had a problem with the women-only events because we've always been fighting to stop the male-only events. So this isn't an easy thing. And this is why I think...
Well, I appreciate that honesty. I appreciate that honesty. Okay.
It's not so... I mean, on the one hand, it seems very simple. Public building, you invited the press, let them send who they want to send. Don't, this is wrong.
That's our only issue. That's our only issue.
That's how it's so easy from one point of view to look at it. But that's why we have them. Women are from... How does it go? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Something like that.
It's so simple when you look at it that way. When you look at it from the other side, which is easier for me to do because I am a woman and I have been active on the feminist side, it's a little bit muddier.
All right, but Beth, you do realize, I know you do, that the best possible scenario would have been here, and a very reasonable step could have been taken by just simply saying no press coverage. Close to the press.
Well, actually, had I been one of the organizers, I'll tell you what I would have done, because I've been through this before, like I said, since the 80s. That's the other thing. I think you got a group of people here who really were trying very hard, meant really well. I'm not sure they're the most sophisticated of organizers when it comes to logistics. I would have said, if you want to do that, you need a private building, first of all. You need to make it an invitation by only event.
Yeah.
And you don't invite the press. You do a press release after.
Yeah, believe me, Taylor.
But they didn't do that, and I understand that. And Taylor, I said in my editorial, as reporters, we're not supposed to participate. We're just supposed to go, stand in a corner, stay out of the way. I mean, you send a Standard Times photographer there and forget it. They're going to be all over the place and in your face with cameras, but that's different.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, reporters, I mean, that's the first thing I tell my reporters when I train them. But I totally understand, and I just think I don't understand why it would have been so hard to accommodate the request. Do I think it was right to say, I'm asking you to come cover this, and I'm telling you who to send? No, it isn't. On the other hand, can't we show a little bit of flexibility here? Send a woman or don't go at all.
Right. Well, I mean, we, as I've stated to you, we don't have a woman currently in our news department.
Which I think is really sad.
Well, you know what? Listen, hey, Beth, I've been in the business for over 40 years now, okay? I think it's sad, too. But the fact of the matter is we can't manufacture women, nor can we set quotas. We can't keep a position open in the news department until a female applies or a qualified female applies. This station has a record of having many, many female news anchors that have gone on. Lynn Poyant was one example. She was our news director forever. Eileen Crochere was here forever. She went off to Boston and did BZ. Kathleen Burke was in our news department for years. She went off to do Providence Radio and then eventually Channel 12 News. Karen Moscow went national. So, I mean, we've had our share of women here that have been very, very good, very successful. At the moment, we don't have a woman.
Well, and if this is just a momentary thing, then I apologize heartily. But I'm going to tell you what shrinks say to people or therapists, okay? And they say, maybe you should examine your own behavior to see how you contributed to this situation.
Well, how have we contributed to it?
That's all I'm saying is there can be institutional reasons why right now you don't have any women there, that you couldn't send one woman to
right,
one
but Beth,
event.
you're not listening to what I'm telling you. We have twice as many, at least twice as many women in this building. None of them are secretaries. We're not talking cleaning women. We're talking people in powerful positions in this building. Our entire sales staff, with the exception of one guy, is they're all women.
But that's sales. That's not somebody with a microphone out in the
we
field.
have Casey on the air with Phil in the morning. We have not, when radio positions open up, you go with the pack of resumes that you got. It's not as simple as just saying, we're going to grab this woman and put her on the air. We are reaching out. We're putting
put me on the air.
I'd love to have you. In fact, I was going to ask you if you would come on the air with me more often. I would love to have you on.
I love it. I love sparring with you. You're a smart guy.
Well, you know what? And I love sparring with you. And I don't want to give anybody the impression that I don't like you or anything. I think you're a smart lady. I love your paper, and I think we could have some very good exchanges on issues, and respect each other as well.
I think that's important. Lots of fun.
Yeah,
I'm having fun right now.
I am as well, and I'm very, very happy that you came on the air. I just want you to understand we're not sitting here plotting against women. And the bottom line is I know Taylor had a lot to do on that Saturday and probably said to himself, damn, I got to work Saturday. There's a story. And as a reporter, you understand, you know this, that when you go out and cover a story, it's a story. It's work. It's a job on Saturday, which is normally a day off. So he's out covering a story, and he's not trying to make a statement and interfere with or somehow or another even be engaged in what's going on there other than to report it. And so, I mean, there was nothing devious about it. We just didn't have a woman to send there. And Taylor was our guy. He worked. He went down there and was told he couldn't cover it. And that was our only objection. Whether women gather in private meetings, I don't have an issue with that. I think that should be happening more often. And I think guys should be able to get together on their own more often. But if you open it to the press, I think that's where the problem comes in. And
I totally agree with that because, you know, I freelanced for the Standard Times for a while before I started my own paper, and I can remember being in the newsroom and the editors trying to assign stories, and from that point of view, it's like, don't you tell me who to send, I'll decide who to send.
Right.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
I just think that in a situation like this, where we're talking about women's rights, we're talking about this Me Too segment and all that stuff, it wouldn't have killed anyone to try to accommodate this request.
Well, I think the best case would have been no press allowed, close to the press.
Well, that definitely, I think that, like I said, if I'd have been part of the organization of this, I probably would have told them, guys, why don't you just send a press release after? That way you control the message anyway, and they would write a story based on it and call you to get further input if they needed it, if they wanted to run it. I think that, like I said, there's a bit of an experience issue with some of these organizers. And the use of BCC, I totally agree with you guys. I think that was a big mistake.
All right, Beth David is
an exclusive event in a public building like that.
Beth, you're coming back. You're going to come back more often because you just stated it on the air. So we're going to haul you in here, and we're going to get you.
Hey, I'd love it, man.
All right, we'll get you involved. Beth David is the publisher of the Fairhaven Neighborhood News. It's a great publication. Where can people find it?
They can find it in more than 200 places. It's in your place right there. Our biggest stops, I'm going to make a plug for one of my advertisers. We leave a lot of papers at Mac's Soda Bar, which is right over there. We're at the Courtyard Restaurant. We're at you know what?
Just about anywhere in Fairhaven, right?
All my advertisers. We're available online, let's put it that way, at neighbnews.com, NEIGHBNEWS.com. The full paper and PDF form is there so that you can get it page for page, including all my advertisers. The reason I mentioned Max is because they're right near WBSM. I apologize to my other advertisers for not mentioning all of them. But we are online, and all my contact information is on page 2. Email me, tell me where you live, and I'll tell you the closest place you can pick it up. All
right, Beth, appreciate your time. Thanks for the good jousting match, and I look forward to having you back real soon.
All right, Barry, thank you.
All right, let me take a very quick break. We'll be back with your thoughts on all of this as we continue on 1420 WBSM. Stay with us.
Thank you for making 1420 WBSM Nielsen rated #1 again.
Cottage Street Motors, where buying a car makes you feel good, has a 20-year reputation